Hello, my loves. Hello, my loves. Hello, and welcome to Monique and Sidney's Open Relationship. Daddy, we doing it.
We're doing it again
We are doing it again.
and again.
How you doing, my
Super
sweetness?
fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm amazing,
Yes,
baby.
you are.
So, what's the topic today, Daddy?
Tell them, my love.
The topic today is actually inspired by our sister Wendy Williams. Um, and we're calling the topic Is Karma Real?
Is it?
Is Karma Real? The calling number is 470-282-1802. And the reason why we're doing this show today is why, Daddy?
We just stumbled upon or the new dynamics that have transpired with Sister Wendy Williams. I believe last week she had revealed to her audience in the studio that when she finishes doing her show, she leaves out, she goes and does Pilates, and then she goes into a sober living house.
Yes.
Then I believe it was yesterday, it was the first time I heard about it, that I believe it was her husband's child was born
Yes.
outside of the relationship, and it apparently took her to a place where she wanted to have alcoholic beverage, and
You gonna call it that?
it was an alcoholic
It
beverage.
was.
That's what they described
But
it
I
as.
like the way it was very gentle, an
I want to be
alcoholic
well. We want
beverage.
to be gentle.
Yes.
She had an alcoholic beverage, which kind of goes against what she normally does, and is supposed to do, especially when you're in sober living. And they found her in a bad way. She had to go to the hospital.
Now, in doing this show is Karma Real? And what I've known about Wendy Williams and what it appeared through the years, and I'll go back as far as 25 years. What, my sweetness?
All right.
You let me
Before we
tell
go
you.
into, I'm
I
just gonna
like it.
see with the people who were calling in, they may have felt the reference to the common being
You
real,
know
but
what, Daddy? I want to thank you because you know me. Okay. So we're gonna go to the calls first. We're gonna go to the lines first, and we're asking you: Is karma real?
is
Let's talk about it. Hey, you on with Monique and Sydney? Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Monique.
Hey, baby.
Hi, Sydney.
how you doing?
I am doing fabulous. I am Tanya, and I'm calling from Arizona. But Monique, my daughter loves you. My son loves you. All of my children love you. We all love you.
Tanya, please tell them I love them back and I love you too.
Well, I just want to let you know, I think that Wendy is going through this situation that she's going through because she's been so rude and mean and so cruel to so many people. And it's coming back to her.
So in essence, you say karma is real, huh?
I believe that it is. I mean, I don't know if it's karma, but I believe what she puts out to the universe returns back to her.
There it is, baby. Thank you, my love. Did y'all hear that?
Sounds like karma to me.
What you put out to the universe returns back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we'll ask questions like, well, when is it going to return? When it's supposed to. Right when it's supposed to. So today our show is inspired by our sister Wendy Williams. And what she's dealing with right now is karma real. Let's go to the lines. Hey, baby, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
My name is Chris. I'm calling from Wichita, Kansas, out of Miami.
Well, come on now. What you talk out of Miami?
Come on, talk to
All
us.
right. I love both of y'all, and I do believe karma is real, and I also believe in generational curses because when I was young, I'm 30, but when I was young, I don't know if I can say hoish on your live, but I was very hoish.
We like those words, baby.
They're acceptable here.
All right, I was very hoish in my younger days. I used to manipulate women, and like really talk a real good game just to get what I want. And God, I believe, my karma is having two daughters. When I had my daughters, when they was born, when I looked into their eyes, I seen all them girls I done messed over.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
And I'm like, somebody can do this to my daughters. time, though, I'll be honest with you, I didn't have a father growing up. I didn't have a mother. Both of them died from AIDS, so I really didn't care. And I didn't have that what's the word, hindsight.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And now I believe he's teaching me something, but at the same time, he's making me suffer at the same time. Not in a bad way to the point where it's taking me over the edge, but more to make me think more and see things from a whole 360.
You know, that's so beautiful, brother, because, you know, there are a lot of people, and when you say as a man, as a young man, you wasn't even thinking about tomorrow, and now to say, hey, brothers, I got daughters of my own, and it just makes you rethink the whole thing. That's beautiful.
Absolutely. We appreciate the
Yeah,
call.
you know, I just wanted to say my piece because I tune into y'all every day, and it's like, you know, I just wanted to speak my piece on it.
We love you, baby. Keep speaking your piece.
Come on now.
Y'all, we're talking about it. Is karma real? And this show is inspired by our sister Wendy Williams, as you've been hearing in the news and all on social media, that she's going through it right now because from what is being said, that her husband Kevin has had his baby with his
The other young lady he's dealing with.
yes, because I don't want to put a title on that because we don't know what the title is. With the other sister that he's dealing with, that they just gave birth to a baby girl, and it put our sister Wendy, as they're saying, in the tailspin. And we're asking, is karma real?
We're asking it. Go to the line.
Hey, you're on with Monique and Sidney. Who's this and where you're calling from? Hello? Is karma real? That's what we're asking. That's what we're talking about. 470-282-1802. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sidney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Boston.
Hey, baby, you calling from Boston?
Yes.
Talk to us.
I made you a beautiful shirt that you love.
Say that again, baby.
I made you a beautiful shirt that you love. My integrity is not for sale.
Hey, baby, you was at the show.
Absolutely.
How you doing, brother?
I cannot complain.
Come on now, let's talk about it. Is karma real?
Karma's real because I got it on a shirt with a boomerang because it's going to come back.
Come on now.
Come on, brother.
I got more shirts, Monique, and people love the shirts. I even got a shirt with your words on it. If you have no integrity, you already crumbled. That's on the shirt.
Wow, baby. Well, listen, I'm going to see you at the show and hold it on up like you did the last time.
Absolutely.
Thank you, my baby. Yo, we're talking about it. Is karma real? And please let me say this.
Come on.
Karma doesn't always have to be bad. You know what I'm saying? People say, oh, karma, because what you put out is truly what you get back.
What our sister just got finished saying, sister prior to him, it's what you put out there and it comes back.
Hey, you're on with Monique and Sidney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hey, Monique, this is Jack King from Detroit.
Hey, baby. Talk to us.
Hey, man. Hey, what's up, Sidney, man? I've been watching y'all ever since y'all started. I'm so proud of you, Monique. I've just been calling, trying to get through just to tell you that I'm so proud of you, man. I just hope more women end up like you. Mm-hmm. You know, man, I'm just so glad that you doing your thing, and I, get to watch your show.
Thank you, baby. We love you for that, brother.
On the karma thing, though, Monique, that's definitely real, and I'm a big reader, and I know that some religions, they even believe that your karma carries over into the next life. So people that's living all these good lives and think they doing everything right and they don't got no karma coming, you never know what you did in your past life. It ain't no telling how long karma gonna last. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, I just believe, 2 + 2 = 4. So it's like the last caller said, what you putting out, it's always going to come back like a boomerang. So you just got to watch what you say, man, what you speaking into existence. Because just like she talked about all them other people having babies on their woman, same thing happened, and it ain't to point fingers. I love Wendy's show. I love you. You know, I love everybody. It's just, you know, some people believe karma carry on forever, even through multiple lifetimes. So, you know, I pray for her, keep her in my prayers, and you know, the bottom line is, you know, I love y'all show, and I support y'all relationship. I even I be sending links from y'all show to my girlfriend just to show her how I want us to be. You know, how Sidney got your back and you got his back. And, man, it's just a beautiful thing. That shit almost make me want to cry.
Well, we
love you,
appreciate
baby.
it, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, my baby. Come on, y'all.
And you know what I love about what he just said is that he's, despite us stating karma is real, we want to be clear because Monique, especially, though, and I have experienced being the topic of conversation on Wendy's show. But I say more so Monique. I just happen to be the husband, if you will. And when she was speaking in reference to our relationship and what she couldn't accept and how it was and all of those things, and now we see the dynamics. And for us, what we would say is what I loved about our last caller is that he still has love for her, though we're expressing the realness of karma. And it would be very easy for us today, especially Monique, to get on her, laugh, be it in glee because she's having a hard time because this is coming back to her. Not realizing that when we do those things, it's still karma is still working. And that if we found happiness out of her dismay, we couldn't be and wouldn't be any better in the way in which we operate than the way in which we saw her operate.
Yes.
And there's a level of empathy that we want to show to her that she has not shown to her guests, to the people that on a daily basis we dealing with gossip. Now, under normal circumstances, we got taught when growing up, you're not supposed to gossip, but it's a billion-dollar business to just gossip. So when you hear individuals saying that right now, she would just appreciate if
she had her privacy.
If she would be given her privacy. Therein lies the conundrum, the paradox, that how do you ask for privacy when you've made a living off of invading others' privacy? But we want to have a conversation respectfully about this individual because, as our brother just said, the life that we live in right now, we don't know if what we're living in this life is based upon what we did in another life. We really don't know.
Right.
But what we can honestly say is that what we do know is this woman has feelings, despite the fact that she may have operated in a way that was as if she didn't care about other people's feelings, other people's kids. But since we know better, it's our job to try to do better. So we just having a real conversation about karma being real so that we can be clear in how we progress moving forward and not do the same things that we've seen done to us.
You know, for me, I'm hoping that there's some that's listening and watching, understanding the lesson in this and not the mess in this. Because some of your comments, you're getting the mess and not the lesson. And if you are that person that you seem to not have nothing nice to say about anybody, if you are that person in your group that, listen, you know everybody's business but your own, if you that person in the family that, baby, when you come around, they really want to walk out the room, but they just tolerate you, we're asking that we pay attention to the lesson, because universal law, what you put out is what you get back. So no, this is not a show to break our sister Wendy Williams down.
Because that's what karma seems to be doing right now. Hopefully, we can lift her up so that when and if she decides to make a return, these moments right here can allow her to reflect on how to potentially deal with people in a different way, because it's even worse to ask for empathy and then you're empathized with and you're back where you need to be, but then return back to being to lack empathy for others.
Well, but y'all, we don't see the trick in this. Like we don't see and this is for some of our babies too that have these internet shows, and it's all about how messy can I be. It's all about, oh, how hard can I crack on this person? How hard can I make fun of somebody's downfall, or it appears to be that way? Are y'all babies paying attention, or you trying to build followers?
Right.
Let's go to the lines. Okay. And for y'all that's holding on, hold on, baby. We're going to come to you. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hello. My name is Tequila Annette, and I'm calling from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Hi. First of all, I just want to say I love you too, the dynamic. I just love the union and continue, and I'm going to be right there with you.
Thank you,
you asked a good question. You said, is karma real? You know, and I had to look the word up before I could give my answer. It says karma is action, work, or deed. Spiritual principle of cause and effect where intent and actions of an individual influence the future of that individual. My answer is yes, karma is real. And like my grandma used to say, be careful of the seeds you plant because you will reap the harvest.
Come on.
Love you guys.
Love you, baby. Thank you, sis. Come on, y'all. And I think a lot of things, Daddy, we believe are just sayings.
Mm-hmm.
We believe are just myths. But y'all, aren't y'all seeing it unfold?
You seeing it unfold?
Right in front of your eyes?
And I want to address the individual that a moment ago said, y'all are trying to build followers by speaking to Oprah.
By talking about Oprah.
Followers are something that someone who is interested in being followed is aspiring to have. We look at it as this is a community of like thinkers, more so than people. They use the word followers, but what we're trying to deal with and have is a community of people who are comfortable being equal and not above, not below, but right there with everyone else. And you may be that person who feels like Oprah is untouchable because of all of what it is that she's accomplished. But what happens is when you begin to demonize individuals that look exactly like you look, when you don't seem to be beneficial, as we've said in the past, we don't dislike, we love her. But we respect everyone, but we over respect no one. So it could be the Pope. If he says something that was out of the way before he was the Pope, he too knew what it was to go to the bathroom in his diapers, or his mama knew what it was to change him.
Come on.
But we have a tendency of putting people in this world of immortality only to find out that everybody has an expiration date. So we're living amongst mortals, but what ends up happening is we treat people as if they're immortal. But at the same time, when we find out that they're just human beings, what we're saying in this conversation, let's treat them like they're just human beings, and it's understandable about the mistakes that she's made. But we're not going to beat her down because of them, but we are going to speak in reference to those mistakes per se, and what we deem to be things that we as people have to kind of look out for, so we don't do the same things that we know are not going to be beneficial to us.
I'm sorry, baby. When someone says, I'm confused, I don't understand the narrative of this conversation, where is it going? And this is when I would question, are you one of the messy ones, Or are you one of the ones that are really listen for the lesson? Because the lesson for me that my ears are hearing is, let me make sure what I put out there, I would want to come back. Let me make sure I'm not so high on my ass that I think I can say and do, rip down, rip apart, tear down, whomever I choose to, because it's just part of the business. But now when the universe says, oh, you know it's your turn, we had to come visit, we oftentimes don't pay attention to that. We just pay attention to the mess. So that you can understand what this show is about is, we're talking about karma. And it was inspired by our sister Wendy Williams, because when you hear that sister was found drunk, that she was found in a bad way, that she's really going through it, how many shows have Wendy Williams done with people that had problems with addiction and didn't say, let's get behind them and rally behind them, baby, because we know, especially she knew personally what addiction was. No, 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 no. Let's exploit their pain. Let's go after them. Let's make fun. Let's laugh. Let me give my opinion.
As if it was no possibility that somehow it could come back to her.
So that you understand why this show is necessary is because Wendy Williams not the only one. There are a lot of Wendy Williams out there. Look at the guy. When I tell you all these what do you call them? Gossip columnists or
Yeah.
Listen, y'all. You don't think that's gonna come back and tap you on the shoulder?
And the positive message is what you take out of it. It's one of those things where you can look at doo-doo and say it's a terrible thing, or you can take the doo-doo that life gives you and use it as fertilizer to allow you to grow. So when you spoke, someone had spoken about, so the way in which Monique got treated, do you think it was fair? It wasn't fair, but universally it was fair, because there's no one in this world that escapes this life without having challenges. And there's an old saying, would you rather go up the rough side of the mountain or the smooth side? Most people say, or many people say, I'd rather go up the smooth side. But what happens is, when you slip and fall and you go up the smooth side of the mountain, you slide all the way down. But when you go up the rough side, you got something to grab onto. So when we went through the rough experiences that we've gone through, we had something to grab onto, which was the past experiences of the challenges that we had, that if you keep showing up every day with your head up, as they say, tough times don't last, but tough people do. You got to work through it. So at the end of the day, what we're saying here is, we all have our work to do for ourselves, but we were inspired to have this conversation for those out there who we just talked about, who just said, hey man, I used to do some crazy stuff back in the day. But then when I looked into my daughter's eyes, I realized I had to change my ways. I didn't have a mom. I didn't have a dad. There are different people out here who have different stories. So at the end of the day, what we're saying is, whatever works for you, because we don't know your story, but you know your story. How do you apply the message to your story?
You know, I'm going to share something personal with y'all. They like when you share personal shit.
Challenge.
I'm going to tell them, Daddy.
Do it.
When the hit came, with all of this blackball and all of this Monique is difficult, and when the taxes hit, when all of that shit hit, my husband looked at me and said, Mama, we gonna be fine. You did it the right way. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's been almost 10 years. However, I haven't flinched nor wavered, because I do believe in karma my damn self. And what I had to say was, I did it the right way. I did it the right way. And because I know universal law, that's why I did not worry. So with our sister Wendy Williams, our sister knew that this day would come.
Well, that may be a bit presumptuous.
You think so, Daddy?
Yeah. I mean, maybe she did, maybe she didn't, but you begin to say to yourself, why would you keep doing what it is that you're doing, and you know you're going to have to at some point reap what it is that you sow. And again, oftentimes we put aside what's right for the riches. It's going to make us money, but making you money is not going to make magic in your life to make you happy.
Come on.
Because how many people out there do you know? I was, I had a grandmother in my life that lived in a row home in Baltimore City, East Baltimore, on Preston Street. 40 some odd years, born in 1903. Didn't have a whole lot. When it was all said and done, and they looked at the value of the house was $8,000 in value. $8,000. But what she gave me was $1 million, worth millions. The spirit of what she had was worth millions. And she lived a happy life. When you see an individual that's worth millions in a Wendy, and you see the things that she said about people, but yet when she's experiencing a tough time, it's driven her to a place to drink. What we got to understand is all that glitters is not gold. And though these individuals are making these comments about these other people, oftentimes they're deflections. They're deflections, not showing you who they really are, but you're getting an opportunity to see she's a much more sensitive person than she would let on. So what we saying is, how do we allow ourselves to not wait until we get knocked down by our negative karma to be just as sensitive to others as we would want people to be sensitive to us when we going through our tough times, when they're going through their tough times. That's why we having this conversation.
Come on, y'all. It's Karma Real. Hey, you on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you calling from? I want to thank y'all for being so patient on the lines, baby. Because this and you said the phone lines was going to do this. Hey, you on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you calling from?
I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
Hey, baby, talk to us.
Whitney, I really, talk to us.
They done cut her phone. They done cut the phone. You know.
This is another cut.
Hey, you on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hey, what's going on? This is Stacy Lyell from Washington, D.C.
Hey, sister.
How you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you both?
Amazing.
Super fantastic.
Phenomenal. I'm listening in, of course, to your question, and I'd like to also add an element to the question, because while I do agree that karma is real, I think that we have to ask ourselves when it comes to our contribution to karma, are we being consistent as it relates to who we are and what we do? Because something as simple as a gossip television show, as an example, it may not necessarily be consistent with who you are in your personal life, but because of the fact that you're participating in it as a way of being able to gain an addition financially or in whatever capacity, whether it be status or things of that nature, we want to at least make sure that we are not putting our good karma on the chopping block for the sake of being accepted, for the sake of getting a gain that we could be able to reap in another means if we were honest and focused in the direction of maintaining consistency. Does that make sense?
A whole lot.
Yes, it does, sis. We thank you, baby.
Thank you.
The show is Karma. Is it real? And I'm sure every last one of us that's grown has an experience in our lives that we may have done something and knew it was a little shaky, and then that stuff came right back, and it came back to you just as shaky as you did it. It came back to you just that shaky. Were you able to laugh it off and say, I was supposed to get that?
I was supposed to get that.
Or was your ego too big and say, oh, I can't understand why that happened to me? Because in this situation, in my humble opinion, Daddy, I believe you gotta know, it's almost like You've been doing it and getting away with it for so long and masked it with, and it's being masked with, that's just the business. But when it's your turn, it's no longer just the business. Now this is my personal life. Well, wasn't it their personal lives?
And this is why I believe the phraseology of blessing in disguise is what it is, because perhaps this is a pivotal moment for Wendy to have that proverbial blessing in disguise and change the way she's been.
Yes.
This is the moment when you see someone who's been a certain way and the world is thirsty and open to her changing, and they're called redeeming qualities, where this moment may have knocked her down in order to build her back up.
And here's a question we have to ask ourselves, though. As a community, will we allow that to happen? Because, sometimes when we get knocked down or fall down, we like to keep us there. Like we like to say, no, that's it, it's over, it's done. If our sister does come back and say, y'all know what? For years and years and years, I was not considering other people's feelings. I was only considering the business. It was my job, but I want to apologize. Do we allow that to take place? We're talking about it, y'all. Karma, is it real? Hi, you on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hey, auntie, and uncle. This is Israel.
What's that?
Hey,
man?
sugar baby.
Hey, as much as first of all, I love you, Auntie Robin. And I just wanted to say, in as much as I don't believe in karma, I do believe that if you make your bed hard, that you're gonna have to lie in it.
There it is.
That I do believe. I believe that if you plant your seeds on rocky soil, don't expect anything to come to fruition except for dirt and more dirt. I'm very sorry to hear about Wendy Williams and what's going on. But as you said, she has been making her bed hard for years. She didn't care about Whitney Houston back when she was singing Bobby, and she's been doing this for years. And the bad thing is, we went to her show when her show first started, and one of her guests was Carney Wilson, and we were in the audience, Peaches and I. That was way in the beginning when all we got was the magazine. And back then, I'm looking at her and I'm listening, and she's speaking to people, and she's coming into the audience and she's answering questions. And I'm saying to myself, you have a gift. Your gift is to give advice to people, and instead of you doing that, wait, is there an echo because of me?
We don't hear echo, baby.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Then it's just me then. And her gift is that she can give good, sound advice to people who are having trouble in their relationships or whatever have you. But instead, you'd rather deal with the Kardashians and everybody else's, gossip. And she could have been really, really. I'm trying to find a word. Her level of talent supersedes what she was doing. She was downplaying herself with all of this gossip and crap. Yeah, it got you ratings in the beginning, but once you got on board, stop dealing in folks' business and start helping people. Not always trying to bring out the dirt out of their closet. That was the problem. She spent too much time, as the sister just said, she spent too much time doing gossip things as opposed to things that would help fortify people's lives. And I think that's where she fell short, and the glamour and glitz of Holly Won't became more important to her than family, friends, and her own self-worth. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion. Any questions?
We appreciate you, baby.
Thank you for the love.
Hug Peaches for us.
I definitely will. I love you guys.
Love you, baby.
So
We're talking about it, y'all. Karma isn't real.
And when she was saying how she's been this way for years, also the things that Wendy has brought for years to the table, they're unbeknownst to us their gift, because it's kind of like growing up in a household. My father was a physically and verbally abusive individual. you don't think of it then as being a gift, but it was a gift that I was given, because what it showed me was how not to be to my family. It was a gift when my grandmother would sit me down and tell me all of the things that my grandfather would not allow her to do. It was a gift to see the level of or lack of support that my father would give to my mom. It was a gift to hear all the stories and know your aunts and how their relationships were, cousins and so forth who happened to be women, and know what they were so that I could be a better husband with you. I wouldn't feel as connected to women if it was not for the women in my life and the plight that transpired, but they weren't plights as much as they were gifts. So when you see Wendy doing what it is that she's done, quietly, she's a gift in disguise because she's showing you all the things that you don't want to do. And hopefully, by her experiencing this situation to the magnitude that she can reap the benefits of the gifts that she was giving, which weren't what you would say like a gift with a beautiful bow on it, but the gift of karmic return, so that she understands being on the other end of things is going to allow her to say, you know what, maybe I need to change what it is that I'm doing and be more kind, observant, respectful of other people's relationships, because you hear them talking about how terrible her husband is because he had a baby outside of a relationship. It's easy to talk about how terrible he is. Somebody could say that, but we don't know him to say that he's terrible, because there's a lot of people that have had sexual intercourse outside of their relationship. They just may not have gotten pregnant. And there are those that have gotten people pregnant. It doesn't make them terrible people. This is part of the human dynamic. And why wait till someone dies before we become empathetic to them? Why not give them the empathy and a level of understanding while they're right here with us?
And you know what, too? Here's why I won't play into that game of speaking bad about Kevin or speaking bad about Wendy. I only speak truthful, but not bad about them, because again, y'all, we don't know what goes on behind people's doors. And when I see people in the room talking about how terrible he is and he this and he that, that's the same shit y'all said about mine. Okay? So it's like, before we start doing that and we start speaking on people's dynamic, before we actually, and it's not our business to know it, but before we start pointing a finger on how terrible, how wrong, how this, how that somebody is, we can't, because we don't know it and we don't know what was behind their closed doors. What we do know is how our sisters so openly on that mic demeaned, degraded, disrespected, belittled, rude, downright ugly at times. And now universally, it's saying, we want to show you what you may have caused for years to other people. For years to other people. I remember one time we were doing, Wendy and I had a talk show deal together. And we were doing it was when Waiting to Exhale had just come out and everybody was trying to run to get to, the multiple women talk show, right? So
Early 90s, wasn't
it was, Daddy. So Wendy and I, they were looking for a third person. And we're in New York, and this sister comes into the room, and she's a celebrity. And when she sat down, you could look on her face and tell that she was really going through it, right? And when she sat down, of course the cameras get ready to roll because they want to see the chemistry between us three women. And then she said, would y'all mind cutting that camera off? I'm just going through something right now, and I need to talk to somebody. And that sister was crying and began to tell us about the meeting that she just left. And she said, Please don't let this leave this room. Now, this wasn't no hearsay. This wasn't somebody told Wendy that somebody said and somebody said. This came right from one of our sisters.
Her personal experience.
Excuse me, Daddy. Her personal, excuse me, her personal experience, right? Thank you, sweetness.
Have a sip.
Thank you, my baby. And we all was having a sisterhood. We were having a moment where we had talked to this sister. We hugged. You know, it's like it's going to be okay. Wendy's shift, I believe, started at 2 o'clock. I believe that meeting was at 11. By 2:10, everything that woman said in that room, Wendy Williams said on air, word for word. I felt bad because we gave that sister our word that we would not say anything outside of that room. So by 2:15, 2:20, y'all know your girl, I called Wendy up. I said, what are you doing? That sister asked us not to say anything. And Wendy said to me, that's just the business. So I knew in that moment, for me, that I could never share anything with that sister because I knew what she would do with it. But in moments like that is when you say, is she thinking of those moments? And because it's been so many of those moments, you don't know which one to grab onto. You've just got to understand, in my humble opinion,
It's your turn.
that's all. That's all. Hey, you on with Monique and Sydney? Who's this and where you're calling from?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, baby.
Hi. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm on. I just turned my computer down. It's crazy. First, I just want to tell you guys that I think you are amazing, both of you. I'm so happy to see you, Sydney, and Monique. I love you so much. I love that story about the raisins. I just love everything about you guys. You're just so real, and I just want you to know that, and I appreciate it so much. I remember years ago when you were on The View, you were talking about stuff with Barbara Walters, and she was kind of disrespectful, but you kept it cool, and you just let her know, and I always just feel like you handle things with, like, grace and class, and I think it's beautiful.
Thank you, sweet sister.
The other thing I wanted to tell you about was one of the things about Wendy Williams is there's something about the gossip that's called Schadenfreude, where people take an especial glee in other people's pain and problems. And that's the really destructive part of it that really resonates with me with Wendy. It's one thing to talk about stuff. It's kind of like how we learn from each other, but when you're gleeful in another's pain, it's very problematic for me and kind of ugly, and I stopped watching her show, in fact. The third thing I would want to say is, and forgive me, I'm like a nervous Nelly, so if I seem crazy, I am. The third thing I wanted to say was years ago, when Britney Spears was going through her stuff, Craig Ferguson went on that night to do his monologue, and it was so beautiful what he did when he addressed Britney's outburst and kind of meltdown. And he said, I got nothing for you about it because he himself is a recovering alcoholic. Mm-hmm. And he was just so beautiful when he said, like, he took the moment and made it, like, human.
Yes.
And instead of making fun of it or her, we all got to learn something about it. And he said, I got nothing for you. I got, and I'll never, ever forget that. And I feel like that's what you guys bring to the table. And I want you to know that you're both beautiful, beautiful people, both physically and in your spirit. I could look at you guys all damn day. So
thank you, our sweet sister. We love you, baby.
We love you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my love. That's beautiful. We're talking about it, y'all. Karma. Is it real?
And I think she hit on an excellent point in that, and articulated it very well in the sense of it's not just having a conversation about a situation and or someone in that situation, because that's how we learn. But it's when you seem to find glee and happiness and a level of enjoyment at that person's demise, or because they hit the skids, or it's not going right for them, which is oftentimes, in my humble opinion, due to we don't want to do bad by ourselves. Oh, somebody doing worse than me. Oh, I can deviate from what I've got to work on for myself and be able to focus in on what it is that they're doing. So I think that her point was just spot on.
Karma, y'all. This is a show inspired by our sister Wendy Williams, and if you're just joining us, it's been in the news that our sister was found drunk and in a bad way. Now, I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? Because when you drunk, you take your ass to bed and you sleep that on off. When you drunk and in a bad way and they got to take you to the hospital, what is that?
It's the opposite of in a good way.
Daddy?
Right, but that's what it is.
All right, then. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sydney. Who's this and where you're calling from?
Oh, hi. My name is Dee. I'm calling from Montgomery, Alabama.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Hey, and I just wanted to say, first of all, that I absolutely love and adore and respect you and Sydney so much. I've been rocking with you since you were on HBO Def Comedy Jam.
Wow, baby.
And I wanted to say, because friends of mine have said things about Wendy Williams and about karma and how things are coming back to her. I think that all of us at some point in our lives have been in a place where we didn't hold our sisters, our brothers and sisters up, where we, gossiped with other people about their misfortunes. And I think that on either side, it's not a good thing. When someone is suffering, we should be praying for them. We should be hoping good things for them. Because the universe, because God in His infinite wisdom is going to do what He feels is best for us. And sometimes that means that we may get our tails kicked a little bit. But I'm hopeful for her. I'm hopeful for her, and I'm hopeful that when she does get herself back together, that she will remember this moment in her life.
That's right.
And treat other people with respect and dignity. I don't watch her show anymore because it's so negative and so ugly, and you could see the crack, in her life even then. So, my hope is that she'll learn a lesson, and then when she does come back, that she will treat other people with love and respect and dignity as well.
We hoping the same thing, baby. We love you.
Appreciate your
I
thought.
love you too.
All right, Mama.
Have an awesome day.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
baby. Bye-bye.
And what you said earlier regarding, it seems like people get so excited about hearing negative things. For instance, you'll probably not hear about this show outside of this show to the degree that you would if we were to be talking terribly about Wendy.
Oh, right.
Because what they don't want, folks don't want to see other people having compassion, because it's almost like it's a sign of weakness in certain individuals' mind, and it's not as, in their mind, as positive, because we living in this parallel universe where negativity turns into positive cash flow, and being positive is negative because it doesn't reap the rewards. But you got to ask yourself, what type of rewards are you trying to reap? Because a lot of them don't have anything to do with money. Some Cosmic Energy said she's just doing her job. Her job is to gossip. The question I would ask you is this: if you have an opportunity to do another job that doesn't involve hurting people, would you take that job? Because you always have a choice as it pertains to what it is that you're going to do. And here's the litmus test to find out your answer. Now that Wendy is in the situation that she's in, and you have reps that are asking for her privacy, Do you think that is something that the people who she, for lack of a better word, exposed, spoke about, could have appreciated their privacy as well? So when we start thinking about what would we want in that situation, would you want someone to be just doing their job, cosmic energy, to be speaking in reference to you from a negative standpoint, when quite frankly your life is your life to live, and it's not someone else's business to be worried about how you live it? Because she surely told the world about Monique and Sydney, I can't deal with no open relationship. And we said back then, oftentimes people are in open relationships, they just don't know it. Now she's in a, not only does she know she's in an open relationship, but as a humble suggestion, if you still love your husband, which I'm sure she does, learn to love that baby too.
Come on. Yes.
Learn to love the baby too.
Yes. We were upstairs in the closet earlier. That's okay. And I said, Daddy, if I could hug Wendy, I would. If I could hug that sister right now, I would. Despite all of the ugly, because if I were Wendy, I would want somebody to hug me.
Come on.
Through all of it, through, I know I got smart with Whitney Houston. I know I said bad shit about this one. I know I did that. I know I said mad stuff about Judge Mathis. I know all of that.
Well, hold on. Let's just stop
Well,
for a second.
well, Judge Mathis dug up in the ass.
Okay, great.
But-
Judge
but-
Mathis got to dig in.
But Whitney dug up in her ass too. It wasn't
Okay.
like she was just
Okay,
swinging.
right.
Okay, they
Yeah,
dug
she
up in her
done got
ass.
that, okay,
My
now.
bad. They
Okay.
dug up in her ass. Now, Whitney,
you got
no.
the shovel out.
She got that ass dug up in during
Okay.
that time. But with all of that, with all she had to say about me and my business and the blackball and my open marriage, with all of that, y'all, if I could hug that sister right now, I would. Because not one of us know what's in our tomorrow. Not one of us know how we might wake up. And I really thought that shit was a myth when people would say, I want to thank God for waking up in my right mind. Well, as a little girl, I'm like, well, what other mind you going to wake up in? And I would chuckle. Till I had well, she wasn't really my aunt. She was my grandmother's husband's sister. Right?
There it is.
Patsy. Patsy went to bed one night. Patsy woke up the next morning, and Patsy was never Patsy again. So I'm saying all that to say, this is not a show to downplay our sister. This is not a show to disrespect our sister. This show is a show where we have real, honest, and open conversation to help us out.
And bottom line, it's about treating people in the way that you want to be treated. Especially the individuals when they need it most, because right now, you got to remember, they not only have a newborn baby, but they got an older baby.
Yes.
That's out there listening to what people are saying about their parents. And I believe she did a show or spoke on.
Her son didn't like her.
You know, and that's got to be a challenge, because you have all of these fans and your child is not one of them. And to know what that is, to understand, to appreciate what it is to have children that you want to look up to you, is why you empathize for them and with them even more. So it's one of those things where I saw someone said that essentially that Kevin, her husband, didn't need to be, they used the term remorse, but I think they were trying to say shouldn't be forgiven because he hurt her. And the thing about it is what human being do you know that in some way, shape, or form hasn't hurt someone, at some point in your life, So the key is finding a way to forgive the individuals that you're dealing with when forgiveness is due. And if they still love one another, find a way to work that out.
And if they work that out, can we pay attention? Can we pay attention? Because oftentimes, y'all, again, throw it away. It's over. It's done. Be finished with it. There was a couple at the show. last weekend. Mr. Thomas and Miss Marcy, they've been married for 53 years. And they were there with their son that was 52 years old. Now, y'all, whenever the wiser people come to the show, it just touched my heart differently, okay? And they sitting right up front. And we having a beautiful time, and I'm talking directly to them. And I said, 53 years? Y'all ain't telling me y'all ain't been down no bumpy roads? In 53 years, I know there were times when there wasn't enough money to cover the shit that had to be covered, but Mr. Thomas made sure it was taken care of. In 53 years, you're not going to tell me Mr. Thomas didn't have sex with another woman on his job. That's when Miss Marcy jumped up and put her hand up and said, tell him, Monique. Tell it. 53 years. But then I watched these people be on a date as if it was their first one. I watched them laugh and love and joke. So I'm saying all that to say, especially to our young babies out there, where it seems like marriage is just something to do for a pastime till you get mad. Right? Till you get mad. Then it's like, well, shit, move on.
Move on.
When you really love somebody, you find out how much you really love each other when you go through these moments.
Right.
And if Kevin and Wendy and the other sister can work it out and be a beautiful family, let's cheer that on instead of, that's stupid, that's dumb, what she should have done, if it works for them.
If we was in Africa,
Come talk on them.
if we was in Africa, because we so disconnected from where we're from, she would just be one of the wives. And that would be one of the babies. And everybody would love, and there wouldn't be any of this what we consider cheating. But that's a different show.
That's a different show, Daddy, that we must talk about.
We must.
We must talk about, because again, if we were from our native land, they'd be running there looking like, what did they,
See, cheating.
what on what?
And what do you mean is
Oh,
cheating
on
on
what?
her?
On what? She cheating on her food?
Is that the 11th wife?
No.
There's only 2?
No, that is the fourth.
Okay.
That is the fourth.
It is okay then.
It is okay.
It's okay.
If it works for them. So, Daddy, look what time it is.
Come on.
Look what time it is.
The time flies with you wonderful people. We got to take one more call.
We're going to take this last call. Hey, you on with Monique? Oh, Daddy.
Somebody can come. Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it
Okay.
is.
Well, we want to thank y'all, babies. We want to thank y'all for listening in and tuning in. And again, you know, y'all could have been doing anything else, but y'all decided to stop on in and play with us. So, like, you want me to take it, Daddy?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to take it.
You hung up on.
Oh,
You hung up on.
Daddy, I can't see because the light
It's all right, baby.
is shining on it.
Andrew Jackson, we're sorry.
We sorry, baby. So, listen, we want to tell y'all thank you, my sweet babies. And if you get a chance and you're coming to Las Vegas, make sure you come out and see Monique Does Vegas at the SLS Hotel Thursday to Friday to Saturday.
There it is.
And like my daddy always says, Daddy, I'm not, what you want me to do now?
Go
Okay, I'm going to do it. Hey, you're on with Monique and Sidney. You're our last call. Talk to us.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I got through. Hi, Monique and Sidney. Love you guys so much.
Hey,
Love you
baby.
back. Talk to us.
So my name is Monique, and I'm from Columbus, Ohio. And so I just want to say, yes, karma is so real. I always would say, don't even fool with him. Let karma get him. So, yes,
There it
it's
is.
very real. And as far as Wendy, you know, I do feel sorry for her. I'm praying for her, but she put herself in the own situation because gossip is nothing but a spirit of confusion. And so she welcomed all that confusion into her life.
Come on now.
Hey.
That's my opinion.
We appreciate you.
And Sidney, and you said it. I said it too. I put it on the comments. I said, yeah, she might have talked about y'all's open relationship, but she ain't one now. Because she said she ain't leaving her husband, so.
Come on now.
I hope they make it work, baby. And when you got a beautiful baby in the mix, it brings a different kind of energy.
Come on now.
Yes, I'm praying for them. I hope they work it all out.
We love you, baby.
All right.
Y'all, this is what Monique and Sidney's open relationship is all about.
Tell them.
We love to love because it feels good. Don't it feel good to y'all? Because I know it feels good to us. So I'm going back to it, baby.
Go ahead.
So like my daddy always says, the mind is like a parachute.
It is no good unless it's open.
Daddy, why don't you sing it?
Because that's not what I do.
We love y'all.